Hey guys, welcome to your Fridays in your Max Allure week. And if you're a physician and you've been overwhelmed, you don't know what's happening, you went through all this training and things are not looking right, there's so many obstacles between you and your patient, know that there's options, right? And today we're going to be talking about the choice that matters. And for that, we have the wonderful Precious Williams, Killer Pitch Master. Welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Oh, well, Queen, I stay excited about this. Come on now.
So I'm Dr. Myrdalis Diaz, and we have this podcast called Design Your Physician Life. And this week we had Precious Williams with us. And we were so excited, so inspired. And it's a true story of, of success, going into not such a successful times and then coming back from there and knowing that you are really the true choice that matters. You have to choose yourself. And normally I have physicians here, inspiring physicians, right? But I wanted to talk about a different point of view because physicians, we study, we do all these things, and we're so involved. We just have that little lens about the medical life, and we want to be able to open our lives and say yes to other things. And Miss Williams here, she is actually an attorney by training, and she's an entrepreneur, and she's a coach, and she's a wonderful speaker, and she goes all over talking about her story and inspiring others to really do that perfect pitch, in the sense of presenting yourself, your products, your services. And that's what we're here today to talk about. So welcome again. And let's talk about a little bit, we've talked about physicians, okay? And how the challenging times are, in the evolution of medicine these days are. Tell us from your point of view, as an outsider from medicine, what do you see for physicians in terms of like making that choice for their lives?
Making the choice that they're the only choice that matters.
Exactly.
Well, what I hope to see, how about that? This is what I hope to see as we enter in inflation, recession, still in the pandemic, that you all realize that you all are really the goats, right? And so you're not someone who's a cog in the wheel. You're not someone who just you don't possess what everybody else can do, right? And so when you start to think of yourself as the only choice that matters for your client, so for your clients, for your patients, and all other kind of things, I want you to also remember that everything you do matters. How you show up on social media, if you do, how you show up when you meet your patients, how you show up when you're speaking. If you want people to choose you, I need you to choose yourself first, which means, how do you show up? Do you show up with confidence? Do you show up with purpose? Are you allowing personal life situations to color how you show up professionally? A lot of us have to compartmentalize. Last night, I was speaking at Rutgers Law School, where I graduated from 15 years ago. And some of the young people who are 1Ls and 2Ls, they're current students at Rutgers. And they were like, how can you still show up when so much is going on? And I said, to be quite honest with you, there's a lot going on in my personal life. But when I show up, I'm on purpose, and it's to impact someone else's life. And so they don't always need to know what's going on in my life when the focus is on them. And if I want you to choose me, I have to give you a reason to choose me. And I can be human, but I also realize I have a job to do. And I've been doing it for 27 years. And so I have a support network that I go to when things get really rocky. But I don't need to bring that to the stage. I don't need to bring that in front of my clients and customers, because I want you to still see I'm professional grade. I have great bedside manner, but I'm professional grade. And that the people who can help with those personal situations or the trauma and drama and stress of life, I take that to them. But different audiences require different ways of being. And if you don't choose to stand out, to stand apart, and to show up and show out like you mean it, then no one's going to choose you. And it's not about being a choice that matters. It's the only choice that matters. So what is your specialty? What's your subspecialty? Do people really know that? Do they think of you as a generalist or a specialist? What do you want them to know about why you've entered into that particular practice. What are some of the lessons that you've learned? And see how that's different from just saying, hey, I do this. It's here's some of the fun things that have happened on my journey to whatever practice. Here's some of the things that kind of shocked me about medical school versus being a practitioner, being a physician. And what it does is it engages others. And yes, everybody has problems and everybody's situations. You don't have to be perfect. But when people meet you, you are a professional, which means you don't carry yourself like people who don't have your degree and your skill set. So I hope that that answers your question. I'm the killer pitch master. So when I show up, I'm ready to show out. And when I get on stage, I'm not here to just outdo everybody else, but to be better than I was yesterday. Or when people said that I couldn't do something or that what I talk about would never make it. Well, who has the last laugh? How many pitch competitions are there versus when I started? How many companies are funding pitch things when they said that this should have been dead 10 years ago? And if you're a trailblazer, if you're someone who goes before others and you're a visionary, be prepared for everyone not being able to see. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're a visionary. And as a professional, I keep a professional grade. And the people that I need to talk to about some personal stuff, I'll talk to them. But those people do not match up in what I tell about certain things, okay? And I'm still human the entire time. But to be the only choice that matters as a speaker, the only choice as your podcast guest, the only choice that matters for lives, my job is to lighten up the energy, but also to show you I'm still a professional at all times.
That's wonderful. And what you're telling us, is you're the choice and you have the choice to make that choice, right? Mm-hmm. And you have the choice to make where you are, where you're working, what your situation is, how you present on your daily basis. You can have all these problems that you have, but then you can choose, right? You can choose to just present here the way at the best that you can be, because there is no need to for others to really engage with you in those situations if it's not their problem, right?
Yeah.
To them, it really doesn't matter to them. Like if you're a professional, you're servicing them, you're there to service them at that point. However, in order for you to be healthy, you have to understand that if the situation where you're in is not the situation that you really want to be in, then you have a choice to go somewhere else and then shine there. Just try to shine wherever you are. So Definitely. Let's talk about pitches. Let's talk about building a pitch, because I like how you say, like when you say talk about the sauce of a pitch, right?
The secret sauce.
The secret sauce. I love talking about the secret sauce. So let's talk about the secret sauce of pitches. And guys, if you're listening to this, do hashtag live, hashtag replay. We want others to learn. And tell us about the secret sauce of a pitch, especially when you're choosing to be, like the only choice, the main choice out there.
Okay, so the truth is the secret sauce to pitching is not only just to stand up and stand out. It is truly to be memorable, to captivate and to titillate, and to show that not only you are professional grade, but in this zone, nobody can touch you. So we all know when we're like at networking events and people are like, oh, this is my name, this is what I do. Yeah, that's boring because you've given me no reason to care. It's nice that you have you're a doctor. That's cool. Give me a reason to care. You might actually start off with something that might have happened that kind of shocked you. Or maybe you had a patient who thought everything was over. And with your bedside manner and your actual skill set, you were able to, overcome a dark situation. So when it comes to pitching, who you are, what you do, who you serve, all of that's the basic stuff. But when you want to take it to the next level, you want to make sure that the people that you're in front of, that you're speaking the language that they can actually understand. So I come from a legal background, and I use that res ipsa loquitur, and I'm like the stuff I didn't even want. I was like, I'm plain language, even though I have a law degree, even though I have an English degree, I'm plain language. So, when you're presenting or you're speaking or you're meeting someone, what do you say that's going to captivate and titillate? So that you're not just seen as the doctor. Because most people are like, man, they probably boring. Kind of like finance, but boring. You're not boring. You can probably bring life to the subjects we don't know anything about. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like when I come in and they hear killer pitchmaster, and I'm like, slay all competition. Whoa! But they'll never forget it. They'll never forget the pitch queen. So as a physician, You know, you might be dealing with a practice area that very few people know anything about. So bring up some fun facts from there. Or maybe there's only 0.111% of people who ever get this particular, I don't know, disease or cancer or whatever. People need to know that, because when people hear doctors, they're not specific about what specific type of doctor. Why would you go into that? What has been such a miraculous thing that happened since you've been in the field? What are some of the things that surprised you? Because just so you know, it's going to surprise me too. It surprises me that you could be a doctor in one field, but you're fascinated by another field in and of itself. So you're reading about that too. You could be a doctor who's fascinated by Bitcoin. You could be a doctor that's fascinated by Michelin-starred restaurants. You know, but all of that is going to interest someone else too. You're more than a doctor. And now I see that you're human. You do be watching YouTube videos on something, right? That's probably outside of the view, but now I feel like, oh, cool, still cool, real professional. And then as you're talking about yourself, not everybody is concerned about the school or everything like that. Maybe they're just fascinated. Like, what brought you to this city, this state? What brought you to? What has surprised you? Do people usually, like, I'm Black. I don't walk down the street with people thinking I'm a doctor or a lawyer because it doesn't show up. They might think I have kids or whatever. But when I get to talking about the things that interest me, or how I became a 13-time national champion, or something that was kind of cool about what I did, it's fascinating to people, because I'm not just a Black woman with weight on her. I am a full-figured diva and a plus-size fashionista. I'm fun. But when it comes to that stage, you'll see why I am a top Fortune 500 sales trainer, 4-time #1 best-selling author. You know, I be dropping them statistics on them too, Queen. I be dropping it, because if I don't, I can just be talking a whole lot of hot air. And I'm still a fun gal about town. They can check out my website. They can check out some of the cool things I've done, white papers and stuff like that, because it really shows you're conversational. You can present with ease. And you have people who are just interested, probably in your field of practice, and don't even know that they're interested until you start talking about it. So I'm sitting before you right now. Last night with those young people, they were fascinated that I could take a law degree and become a successful serial entrepreneur, and then start teaching in the biggest companies or at Ivy League institutions, HBCUs, PWIs. Like, who does that? I'm like, me. And I'm still Black on both sides. No Brazilian butt lift, no six-pack abs. Whole snack, come fetch me.
That's awesome. So that's the secret sauce. And you know what you've said there in terms of taking your degree to some other places, you have to own it, right? And as physicians, if we've done so many things, you know, as a lawyer, we have a certain let's say privilege to have been able to finish all these things. And there's reasons why we were chosen to be able to finish those things. So then you can do so many other things, and then put yourself in a situation where you're really not boring everybody else. Just, you have so much experience that you can bring. And then maybe the person who's by your side resonates, and then you connect, and then you learn from them. In terms of what brings us here, you know, giving tips to the physicians who are listening to this so that they can do other things. And it's helping them because they're overwhelmed. And then at times they don't see that they have the choices that we talked about, the choice to be the first, the first choice for anything else, the choice to be other things besides being physicians. Because to achieve happiness, a big part of happiness is that you have control. And in having choices, in learning that you have choices, then you can have control over your choices and the things that you do. And in building a pitch, for example, you're choosing to put yourself out there. You're choosing the things that you're going to be saying. And
it is your choice, not someone else's.
It's your choice.
It doesn't have to be cookie cutter. You don't have to go to the Google School of Pitching and I do this to help. Boring.
Exactly. Stories bring, bring it in. And you can do your story like you've said, like in your words. Like, I cannot repeat your words, but when you're describing the diva that you are, right, when you were selling the clothing that you were selling, the way that you're presenting is like you're creating a story. Like, you're talking about yourself, but then you're creating an how do you say, tintillating story,
Captivating and titillating story.
sorry, about yourself. So we can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be in a way, like you can be a little bit like cheerful and loud and all this stuff, or you can be like a little bit more quiet. But the important thing is that the word that comes out is a choice that you have, and that mood that you have, and that mindset of like, I am in control of this, and I have the choice, and I know how to do it, and this is how we're gonna do it, and bring that message home, so that you can shine. You can shine as a physician, you can shine as an entrepreneur, either a coach or doing a business for services or products or whatever it is that you choose in life. So tell us a little bit before we go. We're going to be closing here soon. I know that we want to get soon to where we how we can reach you and all that stuff, but I want to leave people with one tip, specific tip. If we're going to give them a tip about choices and about creating the pitch with these choices, what would you tell them?
The first thing I would say about, creating this noise and this buzz, or captivating or titillating, is really getting in touch with who you are beyond your degree, beyond being a physician. And what does that really mean? So I'm a multifaceted individual. Before I was a speaker, before I was a trainer, before I was a pitch master, I was writing stories. I was writing poetry. I worked at a radio station for the #1 disc jockey in the Midwest. And when I look back, all of it matters to where I am today. I loved watching television shows to see how they put words together for the actors. How did act, like, all of this is like a symphony to me. So I look back over a physician's life and see where did their passions really lie, and how does that feed into what you're doing now? If you feel that you are boring, if you feel like you've gotten into a rut in how you express yourself and how you put yourself out there, then I encourage you to do a couple of things differently. Number one, ask the trusted people around you, how do they see you? Because you need 150 reasons why somebody should hire you, book you, refer you. And probably 5, 7 to 10 you can do by yourself. But the others are going to come from people you know and you trust, because they're going to see things in you that you don't see. And those are the very things that others will learn to see that you can't see in yourself. And out of those 150 reasons, there are going to be a few that resonate so much, it's not something you would ever come up with, but will be the other reasons why people love to hear you, or want to bring you in, or want to refer patients to you. Number 2, look at that list every day. The more you look at that list, there are going to be some that stand out more than others. And how does this impact your pitch? In so many ways. You're going to have different audiences that you're going to find yourself in front of. And some of those audiences will ask questions that go right to the heart of the 150 reasons why somebody should hire you, book you, refer you, bring you out for opportunities. And so as you're creating your pitch and you're looking to stand out, there's your outline right there. And this is why those people love you and like you. And until you ask those questions, you have a limited frame of reference on who you are. And they're going to show you how to tap into a part of you that comes out naturally that you cannot see. And that's going to be the reasons why others resonate with you. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because people think I'm hired because I'm a pitch master. I'm hired because I bring energy. Who hires people for energy? Not that I would think so. That's the #1 thing people say about me. It's my energy. They can listen all day to me. I can be talking about dog walking for all they care. But it's the energy. Do you think I would come up with energy for myself? No. Oh, I'm 13-time national champion. That's cute. And that's a bop. But that energy you come with, you wake people up at 8 o'clock in the morning, at midnight, you going hard. And you make people excited. 7 o'clock at night in law school, they're tired. Man, I came in like a wrecking ball. But I wouldn't know that I brought that kind of energy if people hadn't told me. If I had gotten past my fear and asked. And it's just your energy. And when you're on stage, no one can touch you. When they meet you in person, you're like energy. And that goes for if I was an introvert. There's something about me that would draw them to me, like a quiet storm. So there are things about you that you can't see that others will. And that will help you see yourself through the eyes of those who know, like, and trust you. And it'll also help them pitch you too.
Know yourself and ask others, and look at those lists all the time, guys. You have to go through the steps so that you can be not the best pitch master, but a very good pitch master. Well, thank you for being here. Can you tell us how we can work with you, where we can find you? We love the energy of Precious Williams, your pitch master.
Whoa, Queen and everyone. My name is Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. You can go to my website. It is www.perfectpitchesbyprecious.com. On my website, you can actually purchase my 4 #1 best-selling books on my website. You can see how to work one-on-one with me, how to bring me in to train your groups, or if you just want a consultation to see how you take your pitching, your communication skills to the next level. Additionally, on my website, you can see what's on my event calendar and where I'm going to be next around the world. On Facebook, I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On Twitter, I'm at Perfect Pitch P. On Instagram, I'm at Perfect Pitches P. And on LinkedIn, I am Precious L. Williams, Killer Pitch Master. And while you're on LinkedIn, please sign up for my Pitch Please newsletter that goes out every other Wednesday. I have 115,000 subscribers, and I think that's pretty awesome for someone who's Black on both sides. No Brazilian butt lift, no six-pack abs, no actress, no musician, no sports figure. I'm just Precious. And I'm still the same OP. So those are ways that you can get in contact with me. And if also you want my books, you can also go to Amazon. But if you get it from me on my website, I hand sign them and I'll send you the tracking and everything. So yeah, I don't want the smoke. Yeah, I don't want the smoke. But these books right here, all 4 of them are great. The first 3 are really great for teaching you how to pitch yourself in a different way, how to get people to, how to build and rebuild your network so that you can monetize that network. And you can also teach others how to refer you for opportunities that you would never know anything about in places you didn't even know existed. So I'm very proud of the books that I've written and that Forbes magazine was reviewed to 2 billboards in Times Square. And the reason why I say all of that to you all is because you wouldn't know it unless I said it or unless you looked me up. So get comfortable with telling people about you and the things that you are doing, because it ain't bragging if it's true.
That's true. Well, guys, you can see her. If you want to, please go listen to her a little bit more. We have our podcast called Design Your Physician Life. She was there this Tuesday. She did awesome. She tells a little bit or a lot about her story, her personal story. And it's really moving. It's a story of success, of, going back into some periods that are not great and coming back even better than before. And as physicians, we have this inspiration from Precious William. I would tell everybody to go and listen to that podcast. Go and visit the website, maxsalary.com, and go and learn more about Precious Williams, her story, and how you guys can lift yourself up, build your pitch the best way that you can. Thank you for being here with us today. It's been such a pleasure for everything. Thanks for your time. And I hope that I can see you someday live.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.